option. I think so. I just think Cell would have been better.
Wait.
I don't agree with that.
Wait.
I'm just
No. Wait, hold on a second. Round. You think that Cell Saga Cell would have been better option than?
Well, in terms of power, no. In terms of power, no. I just think
Cell.
But my biggest thing is I just think Frieza's played out. How many times is he now the main villain in the story? And I guess finally this time, now that he's disappeared forever the hell, whatever time chamber he went to for 10 years to train. And then after that, they beat him again. And then what? He's going to come back again.
Let's go to our 30 to 21. Isabel is a messed up one, but we got Kaido, Blackbeard, Hisoka, L, Makishima from Psychopaths, Cell, Doflamingo, and Furuta. It's not a bad list. Honestly, I'm surprised Kaido made the list, to be honest. Kaido wasn't on my list at all.
Do people usually have Dofi over Kaido? And if so, why?
I like Dofi. Oh, before we get into that, Angie Carr with the $2 super chat said, "Put Nightbot on the list. They crashing out." Nightbot is crashing out. I gotta fix that before next stream.
Nightbot I don't know what Nightbot is on, but they are tripping. I think the reason why I have Doflamingo over Kaido is I think it's also I think it's more like the personal reason. I feel like because of like what he did to Law and like that whole backstory. Not that Kaido didn't do like a whole lot of messed up stuff too, but they also kind of work together like indirectly too. So like they kind of have like some similar things that they did, like the whole smile drug. But yeah, I just feel like Dofi, his was more like intentionally personal. Like Kaido did a lot of cruel things, but he was about business and like getting things done. Dofi did things to just be cruel at times. And he enjoyed and reveled in his cruelness. Kaido, like he was like a mob boss. He was just like a leader of a biker gang. Like he was doing things for power. While Dofi did things more towards like he was more sadistic, if that makes sense.
Do you think do you think the cultural influence?
Thank you, Bob. He had a deeper depth
that Doflamingo had impacts how high he is on the list? Because I mean, wasn't who Jonathan Majors also was in a magazine cover dressed up cosplaying as Doflamingo?
I forgot. Nah, it has nothing to do with that for me.
It has nothing.
Okay. There's usually two reasons why I favorite a character, because obviously this is a favorite. It's one reason, aura, because I like my aura, just cool character, enjoyable character on screen, of course, i.e. Broly. I don't need depth when you're Broly. Or two, your story, the writing. And I just feel I know more about Doflamingo compared to Kaido. The thing about Kaido is I wish we did, and maybe we still will. The jury's not out on it. One, I did not like Kaido's end because I still feel like no way he's dead, right? I'm still confused. I don't know. Kaido's end is a little oblivious to me. And also, I understand why Dofi is who he is. We got the whole backstory. We got to learn Dofi was a celestial dragon who his father decided to come with the commoners. That didn't work out. Then he became this very evil dude. From his perspective, you get why he's evil. From like a normal person's perspective, he's unhinged. But we see Dofi's path to madness and see how evil he's become. So that's why I just enjoy Dofi's character more. I don't think we got that. And Kaido's character, I'm still kind of confused. Like sometimes Kaido fell out the sky and crying. It's like it seems like he wants to kill himself. Like why? Like I have still some questions. Like why are you have a daughter? Like do you like your daughter? I don't even know. So it's like Kaido. I'm just.
I feel like we know all that stuff though. So for the one, we know like he got used by the government, so he want to use his strength for himself and not be used by other people. We know why he wants to die. He wants to leave a legacy like Roger and Whitebeard. Like what I love about that so much is like what it means to leave a legacy in One Piece in general, like having other people to inherit your will. So like I love it because it's put into contrast for like what made Roger and Whitebeard great pirates. Like because he thought that they had a grandiose death and so that they're remembered for it. But what I like about Kaido, what I like about those two deaths is that in their deaths they kind of push for a better future for the next generation. Like Roger, aired a new age of piracy, and then Whitebeard reinforced it. Their biggest thing was helping the next generation, and that's why they have a legacy. But Kaido's whole thing is holding the next generation back, and that's why he's not going to leave one. Right? And I think it plays into why his death was so quiet because he's not going to leave a legacy the way those two did because he held back Yamato, he held back Momonosuke, he's trying to hold back Luffy next to the worst generation. Like everything he's doing is the opposite of what made Roger and Whitebeard great. I feel that's fire. So he had fire and he helped us get Gear 5 Luffy, which I think is also fire. So I feel like we know the things like we know why he wants to die. We know why he relies solely on his strength. I thought we got that though.
I mean, even with your explanation, I don't think they're satisfying results of what I've seen on page and on screen. But I mean, we'll see. One Piece is not over, and Kaido's story is technically not finished because we got to learn more about rocks. So, I haven't given up on Kaido's character necessarily, but yeah,
I put Delphi ahead of him, like I said, for like the depth of cruelty and the depth of evil intentions. Like I said, like Kaido, like to me, he was just more about getting the job done and like his goals, while Delphi kind of like relished in what he was doing at times. Like when he like controlled the king, like you saw, like I think you saw like an anime, he was laughing the whole time doing it, like just enjoying like him killing his own people and stuff like that. Like he lives to be evil, while Kaido is evil not just out of necessity, but like it's just the best way to get the job done. So I don't know. That's why I have just stuff above him more. Also, like what he did to Law and all that. Like Law has one of the worst backstories in the thing, and like a lot of that is also because of Dofi. So I attribute that to as well.
Yeah. L. I think the only reason why L's not higher is because some people don't see him as an antagonist. Because I mean, L's fantastic. Not much.
I put L as an antagonist.
You said what?
I don't think I didn't put L as an antagonist.
I don't know how. Okay, we're not going to get into it. We're just not going to get into it. Okay. If people,
Lonnie about to be like, was L wrong? Was L wrong? Was L wrong?
No, I did put L. I did put L down. I thought for some reason I was thinking, wait, did I put L? Check the list.
I don't see L on your list.
Oh, Light's on there though. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If L was on this list, he would be higher. If like everybody put him as an antagonist, he would be higher. I mean, not much to say about that.
I mean, to Lonnie's defense, it started off with a 50 villains list. So
no, yeah, I said we all said pretty early on it's antagonist.
I tried.
No defense.
But also, technically, to me, Ty, do you consider Aaron an antagonist at all?
No, he's not. He's a villain though, but I wouldn't say antagonist.
Okay.
So let me ask Ty the question that Lord, I know for a fact, but I think Ty, since Lonnie loves to learn from Ty. What? Is there a difference between antagonist and villain, Ty?
Yeah,
there is.
Mm-hmm.
Then
how did I get in this?
Can
because I kept on trying to tell them that there's a difference between antagonist and villain.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And that's why Aaron is not the antagonist; he's the protagonist, but he's
villain. He's a villain. Yeah.
Can a anime be focused on the antagonist?
Can the anime focus on the antagonist? Yeah,
the antagonist be the main character?
No,
that's the protagonist.
Yeah.
Well, like I said with my list, because at first it was 50 villains. I think that I put the first message. I'm adding antagonists too. So my list was villains and antagonists. If you scroll up, you'll probably see, like I said, 50 villains is too hard. I'm adding antagonists.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because if Aaron became the antagonist, who's the main character when he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's still the main character throughout.
Yeah,
he just became really a villain. Impossible to put a villain as the main character. Light does that.
They're talking about antagonists. So like, antagonist can be the main character, but a villain can be like Light's the main character and a villain, and
Yeah.
L is a good guy and an antagonist.
Joker is a villain and he's a protagonist.
Yeah.
By the
I guess
way, I
it's
saw
because-
Joker 2, Santo.
Trash.
I didn't even really like Joker #1. I fell asleep.
What?
It's a
I
slow.
couldn't
burn.
watch it, bro. I got bored. I'm like, when is the cool Joker stuff gonna happen?
That's the
bored.
problem. Y'all expecting it was a different take, bro.
About Riddell?
Bro, I'm
Oh.
watching Joker to see Joker. I'm not watching to see this
God.
depressed
It's
dude.
it's
We're
a, it's
talking
a
about
great
depression.
story. It's a great movie, but it's such a slow burn. I can understand.
No,
Thank
I
you.
get
Is this
it,
the
but
one?
I was locked in.
if you're expecting like the Joker from like the DC, like for instance, let's just say the Batman animated series Joker, you're gonna be that's not who he is.
Well, I have a
I
question.
watched the
But this is how
Joker
real life
movie,
villains are made,
Joker.
Riddell.
Is this that one that is Joker 2 from the first one where he was like
Joaquin Phoenix, the depressed guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the first movie because I was like, now I accept that it's a different take. I accept that, but it just wasn't for me at that point. I'm gonna go back and finish it at some point because I do want to go back and finish it.
not.
I just
The first movie is great, Ty. The first movie
No,
is
first
great.
movie
No,
is fantastic.
You know what it was? You know what it was? It wasn't even judged on the writing quality. It was just that I went in. I didn't. Someone told me to watch it. And I was like, "Oh, you like Joker?" I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it." And I was came with an assumption what it would be, and when it fit, I was like, I'll watch it later.
I think that's a problem with
I
some
was like,
people.
I'll watch it later, and then I never got back to it. So
Like in my opinion,
Ty, just think of it walking in. If you have to think about walking into something like a modern villain being born, like
Mhm.
it's like society failing someone over and
Yeah,
over and over
yeah.
again until they turn. That's what.
yeah, that's and I do plan to finish it because
in my opinion, that behind Heath Ledger's Joker, Joker from the first Joker movie is my favorite Joker. Like it's Heath Ledger, then Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
but Heath
Are we
Ledger
Animated or just live action?
live
Live
action.
action.
Heath Ledger was
Yeah, no, Heath Ledger is like the Batman animated series. They made him live action. That's him. That's who Heath Ledger is. But
I ain't gonna lie
this
to you.
Joker, he's more terrifying to me than Heath Ledger because of how like the other. It's like comical. Like
He's
for
more
instance,
realistic. I feel like
he's more realistic. That's why he's more terrifying to me than the Heath Ledger one.
Which
Nah.
fair.
That's how I felt about it.
Let me,
Heath Ledger's Joker is a straight anarchist. Like
I
literally,
wouldn't be in a
he's
city with him.
he's
Anarchists
literally
aren't
Mahito.
scary, though.
He's Mahito.
literally.
No,
Anarchists aren't
their
scary as
their
someone-
point is the realism aspect because Heath Ledger is a comic book character.
Yes.
To be as planned and as organized and manipulative as Heath Ledger's Joker is not realistic, but not
You really
as
think that?
realistic.
not to the degree
when
that
it comes
he
to a
is.
serial
I
killer.
got you.
Yeah, when it comes to like someone like Joaquin's Joker, where it's like the society's not treating me right. I mean, we see how many people like society's not treating me right, and I'm gonna go and act crazy like that. That is like every day nowadays. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
the thing is,
it's
when
more
you-
it's more
the thing is,
sad than
he's-
terrifying.
The thing is, he's such a great guy. He's such like a wholesome person. And you just see like society just step on him over and over and over again throughout the movie, where it just like it breaks and like his like security blankets they fall through, and like everything else, like everything just goes wrong in his life, and he's generally a decent person. He just goes over the edge.
all right, well, enough about the Joker. Let's talk about the rest of this list. Speaking of Joker, Hisoka's on this list. Shout out Hisoka. I mean, we know Hisoka's great.
I want to make this point. And just stick with me. Stick with me. Seriously. Hisoka, if I were like, I got commended Togashi. If I were to come to y'all and say, yo, I got to catch my manga, and I would describe them, and I was describing them, and I was mentioning traits that Hisoka has, y'all think I'm insane. But Togashi made a good character. Like that to me, like is such a skillful writing to me. Like he was able to take a character as off as Hisoka and make him interesting. You feel me? You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Did you
I
ever
hear
read,
you.
did you ever
I'm
read
with you.
his like his backstory one shot or whatever?
I didn't know.
You should watch. You should read it. You should read it. It's actually
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting. It's like the story. I think it's about like how he gains his nen ability and all that, and Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and maybe appreciates Ahsoka a lot more as a character too.
Every time he's around, he has that presence. Like every time he's around, he's compelling. Like he's such a weirdo. I don't know how Togashi does it.
Just like we were talking with Kimberly.
Oh, it's not canon. Make it canon.
He's a wild card that can change up the story any way he feels like it.
Yeah, and he's such a weirdo. Like
he's such a weirdo. It don't make sense, man.
On real quick on Hunter x Hunter, latest chapter. I'm not even gonna talk about the chapter. Stop making it paragraph x paragraph or essay x essay. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this, bro. Like I'm not. Oh my god, Ty, did you see the panels?
Yo,
I saw
those
the
panels were crazy, bro.
It's low key impressive how many little bubbles you can fit onto like a little line, bro. Like that's a skill in itself. I'm just like, because I'm like the last page of that chapter and like a few. I think I posted like 3 of them in the Telegram chat. They're just like long. They're just long.
Hey, yo, shout out to
it's
that.
a good chapter, and
shout out
it's
to
a
the
good
translation
chapter
team for that because
but
I know
like,
their hands must have been hurting after all doing all that.
Let me see. Let me
Bro.
look.
Hey,
I'm just
bro.
flipping
It's
through.
literally
multiple
just
chapters.
make it a light novel with some pictures in it. At
Oh!
that point.
I want to see Togashi's vision though. I like with the art. So I'm looking at it. Whoa.
Yeah, I can't read Hunter x Hunter personally.
Well, here's the thing, right? I feel like One Piece has crazy amount of dialogue. One Piece has a lot.
It does have a lot of dialogue.
I don't think it's comparable when it comes.
It is
No.
not even
My
close.
thing is, I really enjoyed the Crollo versus Hisoka fight. Once we got on this freaking boat, the text bubbles got crazy. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, I'm gonna count the text bubbles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Jesus. That is a lot. That's too much.
There's
Bro,
more
I
text
remember the
bubbles than
chapter-
art.
Ty, he's tripping.
He's tripping. But Hisoka makes sense. What Hisoka's number? What 26? I think that's fair. Almost hit the top 25. Cell Makishima. I'm glad Makishima got love.
Makishima's
Makshima's
great.
I'd move Cell down personally. I like
think I-
Cell.
I don't think I had Cell on my list.
I personally love Cell way more than Frieza in my opinion.
I do too. I don't Frieza. I like Cell way more than Frieza. But
Like
Before we
more
get
than
into that, Santo, talk to us about Makishima.
No, I think Makishima is one of the greatest antagonists in anime. Just his concept alone that he just wants to just break the entire what I think it's called the Sybil structure that they have. That pretty much in Psychopaths they judge people based on their stress levels, and he's a character that just tries to show everybody that that's a flawed system because he murders people pretty much calmly. So it's just his view on how this system is completely incorrect and he's being judged for it. I think he's a great manipulator, great mastermind. The dialogue when he has with the I can't remember her name. It's the female main character, and he pretty much brings a level of understanding where he's coming from. I think he's great.
Yeah, Makishima is great, and like you said,
He's one of my favorites.
like more specifically, it's the likelihood of you to be a criminal. This is literally the same thing with Minority Report from people talk about that all the time. And I mean, people talk about the ideas like trying to prevent crime, but this is the problem when you try to prevent it, the preventative method. Like at that point, you were convicting someone before they're even doing an action, even though all the signs are there. And in this situation, it might be a safer society, but obviously with Makishima, who has the ability to basically have no emotions. I mean, that's the biggest thing with Makishima. He has no emotions. So nothing about him gives away that he is about to commit a crime. No, he's fantastic. He's a perfect villain for this series. And yeah, he did a great job as being an antagonist. And there's parts about it where he's like, you're low-key rooting for him in certain elements.
Yeah.
Certain series too. So yeah, Makshima's great. But Ty, you're about to crash out that some of us have Cell over Frieza.
I just think in the anime he presents better than Frieza in the
I'm not
anime.
gonna
I
lie.
mean, based on his story and who he is, of course I have Frieza over Cell, but I mean, from being an anime person, I think Cell presents better.
I agree. I agree.
I can't argue with that. Like, what you feel like presents. I don't know, but I just feel like
The Dragon Ball Bridge definitely helped too.
what do y'all like? I guess what's better about Cell? That's why I always try to figure out like what y'all like more about Cell.
I like his, for instance, I liked his perfect look, but let me say his whole look. Because imperfect Cell, like get this bug off my screen, bro. I don't got time for this. Even his introduction, I just like better because he's just this. All this is going on with the androids in the background. Meanwhile, there's just this. What's the best way? This predator, just slowly gaining power behind the scenes, and he's something that eventually becomes such a point that, oh my god, I know we're trying to fight 17 and 18. We got to figure out what the hell's going on over here too. Why? All of a sudden, there's just a town that's gone, and it was just something. Especially when I was watching Dragon Ball Z at that point, that's just something so new. It's like Dragon Ball Z for like a few episodes became the closest thing it'll ever be to like a horror story, because now you're trying to figure out this mystery about what's going on with this town and how it presents itself. Obviously, there's the thing about time travel and future Trunks and blah blah blah. I just like him better, and also I think Frieza's like I'm one of a few people. I just hate Black Frieza, man. Like he's played out. I've seen enough of him. Like, oh no, we can't figure something out, so we just run back to Frieza again. Like Resurrection of F, I like it. I like it. Frieza comes back, gets his golden form, but ultimately his pride is his undoing, right? But then for Goku to go and get Frieza, when I'm like Cell would have been clearly, in my opinion, the better option. I think so. I just think Cell would have been better.
Wait.
I don't agree with that.
Wait.
No.
Wait, hold on a second. Round. You think that Cell Saga Cell would have been better option than?
Well, in terms of power, no. In terms of power, no.
I
just think
Cell.
But my biggest thing is I just think Frieza's played out. How many times is he now the main villain in the story? And I guess finally this time, now that he's disappeared forever the hell, whatever time chamber he went to for 10 years to train, and then after that they beat him again, and then what? He's gonna come back again. And then especially I'm mad when I watch Beast Gohan, and then the return of, I know he's not Cell, but he is Cell, and he's just wasted. He's just wasted on admittedly, somebody got to sell Beast Gohan to me at some point because I still don't like it. But I've always liked Cell more. I've always liked Cell better than Frieza. I always have.
We will resume this conversation in a second. We do have to answer this question for Super Chat. Matter of fact, all of us answer this question. We'll also make this a little mini segment too. Amen. All right. Well, let's return back into the top 50. And to round out the 30 to 21, Furuta right at the top. I'm glad he got love. I think Furuta is one of the better antagonists. So does Lonnie, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So Furuta is fire. I'm glad he made the list.
Oh yeah, and Santo, it's like when I was like a kid, my dad's like, yeah, he's like, marry like a nice Christian lady. I was like, you know what? That's in theory it sounds nice, but just because you said that, I'm never gonna do that shit.
That's why I have Furuta at like 48 on my list, just because of
wow, W Petty. I respect it.